Long before there was Bush the Decider or Bush the Uniter, there was Bush the Frat Boy. Our third story on the countdown. How the heck did that transformation happen, and would you be willing to pay to see a movie about it? Also, would that be a tragedy or a comedy? Variety reporting that filmmaker Oliver Stone, whose previous works include Nixon and JFK, is now working on Bush, a film about the life and presidency of the 43rd president, for release around election time or a year from now when the next president is sworn in. Although Stone has referred to Mr. Bush as a Manchurian candidate without intelligence or conscience, he says the movie will be about Bush the human being. Quote, I want a fair and true portrait of the man. How did Bush go from an alcoholic bum to the most powerful figure in the world? It's like Frank Capra territory on one hand, but I'll also cover his bouts with his dad and his conversion to Christianity, his belief that God personally chose him to be president. Mr. Stone promising to surprise both supporters and detractors, but he'll have to get them into the theater first. Jim Moore is a contributor to the Huffington Post, co-author, of course, of Bush's Brain, How Karl Rove Made George W. Bush Presidential. Good evening, Jim.
Hey, Keith.
I'm thinking as ever about my heroes, the comedians Bob and Ray, when I got to ask them during Watergate why they didn't do more political humor, and Ray Goulding said, how could we be funnier than Watergate is? How could anybody make a movie that's bushier than the last 7 years have been?
I don't know. I was listening to your titles during the break. I think there's a better one, Saw 3, The Bush Years, where the president takes his high-powered stupidity to the country and leaves it bleeding and mortally wounded in the field hospital of history, maybe. You know, this, what is Stone not doing any market research? Every single movie or piece of art that's related to this administration, whether it's in the Valley of Elah or Rendition or any of the movies like Lions for Lambs or any of the books, the public is completely staying away. Try selling a political book proposal on the Bush years or any political book idea to a New York publisher right now. It's impossible. I mean, I don't know if it was Casey or was it Yogi who said, if the people don't want to come out to the ballpark, there's nothing you can do to stop them. I think that's going to be the reaction to this movie.
Although I might add Truth and Consequences, a book that has a few comments about Mr. Bush.
Oh,
yes, doing fairly well, actually, so, but we'll see if that lasts. The other thing, of course, is the timing on this. The Nixon film he did was fascinating, and I thought it was extremely empathetic. But can a Bush film have an impact on the man's legacy if it's coming out within days, weeks, months, or even a year of the end of his presidency? I mean, the Nixon film was 21 years after he resigned from office.
No, I mean, his legacy, I don't think, will be changed by time or by art. It is precisely what we all know. It's a bad war. It's what we are discovering is a horrible economy that is in part a result, in a major part, of his economic policies. It's a horror movie that we've all lived through the past 7 years, and people do not want to lay down $10 and go watch it again. I mean, a bunch of us have been spending the past 7 years going, it's only a movie, it's only a movie, hoping we'll wake up in the morning and it will be a movie, but it turns out that it's real. You know, the tagline to his movie JFK was, it's the story that won't go away, and I think in this case he's trying to make Bush the president who won't go away. Your
latest blog, though, notes that the most powerful force in American politics right now is the young voters who despise the man and feast on his carrion of ignorance. Is the timing wrong? If there were a Bush movie coming out, next month or early, in the summer, would that have made sense? Would that have actually conceivably drawn an audience if it were supremely negative about the man?
I don't think so. I think that what we're seeing, if you watch closely the books that are coming out, and as I suggested, even these movies, people don't want to deal with it. And there's a political, this is analogous to what's happening politically. The candidates, whether it's Hillary or Rudy or whoever, is talking about, oh my God, it's a horrible, scary time and only I can keep you safe. Those are the candidates who are suffering. I think a large part of Barack Obama's success has been this forward-looking hope and this visionary approach to politics that allows us to look to the future instead of looking over our shoulder in fear. And I think that's the same dynamic that would be at work in his attempt, Oliver Stone's attempt to get an audience. People aren't going to show up.
I'm a little surprised at the expectations, of course. If Variety is saying that he's going to be shopping this script right now, and they're going to have a movie out 10 months from now or 12, I mean, unless they're shooting it with home video cameras and they're planning to, find unknown actors who are willing to do all the work in 3 weeks, they're never going to get out that quickly. But it raises the intriguing question of who plays some of the key roles. Do you have any casting, and who plays Jim Moore and who plays Wayne Slater?
Well, you know, you've got that whole leading man thing going on, Keith. Can I have my people send you a script?
Yes, absolutely.
I have no idea who's going to play any of these roles, nor am I going to see the movie.
You wouldn't want to go see how George Bush meets Karl Rove? No, you know that already. Why would you want to know?
I've been there. I've been there, and it wasn't any fun the first time.
Yeah, it's Friday the 13th, Chapter 26. Jim Moore with Wayne Slater, the co-author of Bush's Brain. Great thanks as always for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Keith.